Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 66 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity 2.
Halt. What is your business at the Brass Citadel?
I met Hazuni Karu at the palace.
You're the Watcher. The one who nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth.
His mouth quirks in a grin.
The Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs.
He points to the steps.
Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right.
What about the Hazanui?
Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters.
He clears his throat.
But I am sure she will grant you an audience.
Pretty sure he said...
Leave. No alien spy is coming through on my watch.
I'm a merchant. I have business inside.
Green islands and blue skies.
The locals don't know how good they have it.
Wait, so where am I meeting this asshole? I could have just walked this way. Yeah, just go into Imperial Command. Alright, let's have a look around. I'm gonna guess the Hazanui's in here. Hazanui Karu paces near her desk, looking like a shark circling the shallows. She clenches a long, elegant pipe between her teeth. The smoke trails in acrid wake behind her. She looks up when you enter and favors you with a brief nod of acknowledgement.
The former Lord of Cadnua and one-time Terrifier of Harbour Masters. If dockside tales are to be believed.
She smiles briefly through the smoke.
Other than Hasongo, you have not brought much good news of late.
Her pensive look returns.
So, in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters?
She bites down harder on her pipe. Yeah, things could be worse. At least it's not Skane.
Tell that to my dead at Hasongo.
She lapses into a brief silence, puffing out her pipe. Adir gives a nod and a wink, hands on his hip, Seraphin grins, and Jyoti nibbles on her lips to hide her spreading smile.
Just what the archipelago needs. One more disaster tugging at the seams. He must be stopped.
She halts, turning to face you. You're finally able to get a good look at her. She's not especially large for an Amua, but she carries her shoulders high. Her weathered face looks like it looks to have seen many storm-blown and sun-beaten days on deck, and yet her eyes are sharp and keen. He's a giant made of living Adra that can absorb a soul in an instant. Got any ideas?
Anything can be stopped with sufficient force. The problem is finding the will to deploy it.
She watches you, her eyes bright with calculation.
The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much. No one takes charge to solve the big problems. But perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit.
She takes the pipe in her left hand. As she does, you notice that her right is unusually still. Perhaps we could.
Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Andra's mortar. It's largely free of rough weather.
She waves her right hand, and you notice again that her fingers remain largely still. You realize it's an unusually fine prosthetic.
Yet much of it is uninhabited. Itinerant tribes drift between some of the islands, and smugglers and slavers cluster around the rest.
She shakes her head.
It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be, with well-guarded shipping routes. How many Rawatayans we could feed with plantations here.
So what does it have to do with me?
I'm not one for wanton cruelty. But I think you can appreciate that hard decisions need to be made, and you won't shy away from them. If you're chasing the god who's stomping this place into the ground, then we have a common goal. And if you're going to survive here, then you could use an ally.
A hint of a smile tugs at her lips from her tar-stained teeth. What do you have in mind?
You've already helped us immensely at Hasongo. Once repairs are done, we can resume much-needed shipments from the farms back to Rawatai. It's also a welcome indication that someone around here can get things done.
She crosses her arms over her chest in a salute.
I hear you recently traveled to Poko Kohara. Something you did there cleared the storms.
She exhales a stream of smoke, tapping her cheek thoughtfully with the stem of her pipe.
Makes a person wonder what kind of secrets lie in Andra's mortar.
She takes a thoughtful puff of her pipe. I'd love to find out.
That's the spirit.
Claps you on the back, her wooden hand clapping against your shoulder.
Rautai's storms have made us who we are as a nation. Hardy, driven, inventive. But they've also held us back. Forced our people to seek resources and livelihoods far from our homes and families. Imagine how much more we could achieve if we could control those storms.
Her bright eyes watch you for a reflection or reaction. And do you think Andra's mortar will help you with that?
Why not? The storms there cannot be natural. Not when they are so ferocious, so constant.
She motions to the window. A thin stream of smoke follows her gesture.
And your exploits at Poko Kahara suggest that something else may be behind them. But enough of that for now.
She waves the smoke between you away.
The trouble in Hasongo forced us to send additional ships back to Rawatai to make up for shortfalls. And storms at home have delayed another portion of our fleet. This leaves us short-handed here.
She purses her lips with displeasure. Yeah, if this is what you'd call short-handed, I'd love to see what you consider full capacity.
I'm sure you'll get the chance. We're due to collect a special shipment for delivery to our port at Sayuka. We've contracted with a captain named Widla.
A flicker of distaste paces across her face.
Meet her, complete the trade, and take the cargo to Sayuka. Fleet Master Okaya is overseeing the development of some special projects there.
She takes a thoughtful draw on her pipe as she looks at you, seemingly deciding what to say.
She's one of the brightest minds in Rawatai, and it shows. You two will get along.
Her amusement manifests in the barest lift of her eyebrows.
Most of her work is, or should be, under wraps for now. But perhaps she can give you a taste of what we have to offer.
So what's the shipment?
It'll be easier for Okaya to explain.
She puffs a thick cloud of smoke between the two of you. She doesn't break your gaze, but the effect is almost the same. Wilder and her crew, were they?
Good sailors with a fast ship and no mind for questions.
She chomps a little harder on the bit of her pipe.
Wilder be flying Principe colours. On occasion, she ain't flying false. One of the young bloods.
Along with half the population of this storm-tossed archipelago.
She shakes her head.
I understand you're cozy with the Principe. I've got no love for pirates, but that connection may serve you well here.
So why didn't you send Wilder's crew to Sayuka? Her laugh sounds like a grunt.
Let's just say, I'm not keen to invite them to a port where we're developing experimental technologies.
They're smugglers.
Along with half the population of this, I understand you're cozy with the Principe.
If it's important, I can handle it.
I've
What
got
next?
no love. Widla's agreed to meet our courier out at sea, away from the heaviest traffic.
She gestures on a map to the open water west of Nekitaka.
This is her payment. We've already negotiated with her.
She hands you a purse.
Fleet Master Okaya will see to your compensation once you arrive with the cargo.
She watches you appraisingly.
You've got a reputation for cutting corners and making your own rules. I don't care how you deal with Widla, but don't try to cross us. There isn't a straight-in Deadfire that'll hide you from our cannons.
She nods. The warning is clear, but she keeps it civil. She's keeping it civil.
Clear skies.
Calm seas. I guess I apparently know the correct way to say, the correct thing to say in response to a Rawatayan goodbye. Or a Rawatayan military goodbye. Ooh, a weapon master. Alright. Well, good for you working as... I've just realised, good for you working as a fucking mercenary. I mean, I technically still am one, so you see, I think I'm winning this world. I'm winning in this case. I don't know who the fuck you are. A young woman with a bright, wide smile and eyes to match raises her hand and gives you a quick but enthusiastic wave. Then, with an exaggerated look of embarrassment, she stops herself and crosses her forearms over her chest.
I always forget that part. Say, you're the Watcher of Cad Nua, aren't you? I've never met anyone famous before. Except the Hasanui. She yells at me sometimes.
Her grin widens impossibly. Are you always this excitable?
It's just, this is my first time away from the rough country. I'd heard there were thick, green forests and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this.
She shakes her head in wonderment.
You must have traveled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places.
Sabormi folds her hands under her chin, watching you intently. Why does this interest you so much?
I love Rawatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms, or hearing about mudslides burying a village somewhere.
Her buoyant expression sagged, but only for a moment. You know the quartermaster. Can you tell me something? Her face scrunches up in disappointment.
I really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Hazanui's orders. Maybe if you impress her or Atsura, they could make an exception.
She smiles hopefully. The Hazanui hells at you, does she?
Oh, all the time.
She screws her face up into a look of mock seriousness. Still, she can't keep from smiling.
Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming. Sabormi, if you lose the ledgers again, I'll have you clean the latrines.
At this last comment, she leans close, her eyes wide and voice low of awe.
All this time, I didn't realize she knew my name.
Okay, you're weird. You're weird by everyone's, by any estimate, let's be honest. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the lower commanders. I'm gonna try and find Atsura because he wants to speak to us, so let's see what it's about. Guys,
Easily done.
you
I
go
really
through a door.
can't do that.
It's a very fucking simple concept. See? Door. Congratulations, you figured it out. Right.
That bad.
I'm gonna say he's over here, if anywhere.
Hazanui with Kablooey?
I can't think of anything else that goes with Hazanui.
And I would be right.
Neither. That's why I leave epics to the lore college.
The man behind the desk regards you with an attentive, unblinking eyes and a perfectly open expression. His smooth features make it hard to pinpoint his age, though the crinkles at the corners of his eyes suggest he is not especially young. He cocks his head, taking your measure. He pauses before speaking, just a little longer than it seems normal. When he finally does, he crosses his forearms over his chest and gives you a slow, exquisitively courteous nod. The whole gesture is so perfectly choreographed that it seems he must have practiced it many times.
Watcher Nui, the hero of Hasongo. I'm pleased you've taken me up on my invitation.
He gives you a sleek half smile that reveals a row of perfect pointed teeth. In his careful stare and the pause before he speaks, you recognize that he's studying you.
Nekataka is full of boastful tongues and bold claims, but none have accomplished what you managed at Hasongo.
And this is the part where you tell me what I can do for the Royal Deadfire Company, right?
You are most canny, but I think we can do plenty for each other.
His eyes shine with interest. He blinks, perhaps for the first time since your conversation began.
Rawatai has long maintained trade interests in the region.
He gives you that unusually placid smile again.
While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here.
He spreads his hands wide to include his rather plain, dim office. Let me cut to the chase. What do you want with me?
You are direct. I appreciate that.
He tilts his head and blinks as if considering you anew.
Your recent adventure at Pococahara has illuminated a curious link between luminous Adra and the weather. We'd long suspected something unnatural was behind the storms, but we had little evidence.
The smile playing at his lips is that of a man who's seen the next 3 moves in a game of Hazanoti. Rawatai is plagued with a terrible storm. Do you think there may be a connection?
Yes. If the storms that assail Rawatai have a similarly unnatural origin, then perhaps they too can be stopped.
He looks back up at you, his eyes bright with purpose.
And if that's the case, then there's more work to be done. Work that you might be able to help with.
Another silence passes as he regards you.
After all, if you're going to make friends in the Deadfire, you might as well choose the ones with the biggest cannons.
He smiles, showing you all of his pointed teeth.
In any case, I understand Karoo has you occupied with other matters. I shall leave you to them.
You seem different from the rest of the Royal Deadfire Company.
How do you mean that?
Come on, you know exactly what I mean. He lowers his head, watching you all the while.
Are you making advances at me?
No.
It's for the best. This would be a most inconvenient time to begin an attachment.
Okay, you're a bit weird, mate. You're a bit weird.
Criticism is easier than creation.
Right, I guess I don't really have anything I need to do out here, so let's just leave. So, where do we want to go now? I think we're just going to keep following up on the this quest. The Royal Deadfire Company quest. And matters of import. Wilderness crew. Yeah, we'll go on with that. See no reason to not. Ah. Fuck's sake. Well, yep, that was yep. I took us to one entire extra spot before we got to leave. That was dumb of me. Oh well, what can you do, eh? What can you do? So, let's get ourselves out of here for now. I mean, we could explore. If only I could dock up over here, it'd be nicer. But alas, let's get out of here.
Carve his name into a rock.
The Ranga Nui. And it's a commemoration to show what he built.
Unfurled and sword. Then did your Reparo also write their names on battle for?
So once we're done here, we'll go meet with Whittler, whatever her name is. Obviously, let's leave by sea. Right, wait, which way did it say again? Oh, I don't remember. It's west, so let's just go. No, that's not west, Joe. I'm not an idiot, I swear. See, look, she's there. Let's speed this up. We want to try and get this part done within this part. A long, sleek ship rides low in the water. Its crew stands protectively around a cluster of crates positioned on the main deck. A woman saunters across the deck, her roughly chopped hair swinging with her stride.
We said or not, Perrin.
She bangs her fist against one of the crates. The dwarven man standing near her flinches as though she'd hit him.
I'd happily tell you if you stopped interrupting my count.
He rolls his eyes skyward. She cackles and thumbs him in the back. He staggers forward and shoots her a venomous glare.
You've had days to count. Now it's time we talked about the price.
She turns her attention to you, eyes gleaming. Perrin follows her gaze. His eyes go wide. He clears his throat.
Careful. This one's got friends in the Consuelo.
In that case, I'll honor the original price. Consider that a discount among friends.
Boulder gives you a once-over deal.
Glad we could do business.
That's right, I do have friends on the council. I technically have 2 of them, though I doubt Ferrante's going to be very happy with me. The smugglers unload the crate onto your ship. Your new crew, your new cargo secure, you retreat the anchor and let out your sails. So where are we going now? Don't actually remember. Fuck's sake. Is it Sayuka? It's probably Sayuka. It's Sayuka. There we go. Where is I? Yo, okay, that's... Oh, it's only... Wait, yeah, it's only there. It's not that far away. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to do it in the next part. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next part. See you guys then.